All right. Hello and welcome to the Ratnest podcast, episode number 11 with Nate Garcia.
Hey, Nate Garcia.
That's what we're doing. Hey, man, thank you so much for being on the show. Appreciate it.
Yeah, pleasure. Yeah.
Very excited.
I'm Jim, the producer, by the way.
This guy's name's Jim.
Hi, Jim.
Yep. He's here
sometimes
every
you're
week.
here, sometimes you're not on the episodes.
Hey.
I did miss a couple.
You come in when you want. That's
Yeah.
Dude, way to call Jim out.
Yeah, it hurts.
Inconsistent.
Hey, well, you watch it. There'll never be an episode without Matt, though. He's the guy.
That's right. Yeah. Well, yeah. Sometimes I'm like, I wonder if they're having some troubles or something in the friendship.
Yeah, every relationship needs a little break. Just too much Jim.
Yeah. No. Unfortunately, I had some family things that I needed to attend to, so I was out of town for the week while we were recording a couple, and Matt held it down, though. He held it down hard, so I'm proud. Awesome. I'm proud of him.
Hey, we tried. But
thank you for watching, though. That shows that you're actually watching the episodes. Appreciate that.
Hell yeah, dude. Right. Appreciate that.
When you had the in-person guest, then you were doing the tech work. You were behind the camera, right, Jim?
That's right.
Producer Jim, dude. He's there.
Someone's got to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait until we actually have all in person so I can sit off to the side and not be quite on screen so much.
And two, if none of us are watching what's recording, it'll stop recording in the middle of stuff, and then we can't use episodes. Like when we first started, we've probably scrapped 3 episodes just because of technical difficulty stuff. And like it's not like they're great now, but they're getting better as far as that goes.
Way to pat yourself on the back, bro.
To know all that stuff is just gone.
Yeah, it sucks, dude. It's like, and it's not even like that we care because the conversation's still fun, but it's just like, you wanted to make something out of it, and it's like, we don't get to share that with people or whatever.
Yeah, you can't replicate a conversation.
Right. It's like stuff that happens naturally. It's like you bring it up, and it's just not the same. Like, you know what I mean? It's not organic.
Yeah, you just got to forget. It's in the past.
That's what's awesome. Actually, to that point, you're the first guest we've talked to that we haven't had a conversation with to some degree in the past. So,
well, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Neither of us have really had a relationship in the past, or really literally met with you or had any conversation. So this is a first for us. We're really stoked that you're here. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for being willing to jump on this wild ride that we call Ratnest.
Yeah, that's cool. I know you guys knew Cameron Hathaway and David Moses, but I didn't know you guys knew everyone from the past interviews.
To some degree, we don't really. I mean, Cameron, David Moses, Hank Simmons. We've just kind of been like internet friends, like the same way kind of me and you have been going back and forth and chit chatting about stuff.
But nowadays, those are like the best relationships you can blossom. You get to see what everyone's doing, and you get a chance to. You don't have to be in the same city, the same state, even, and you can blossom these relationships with these artists or these people, and it helps. It helps a lot.
Friendships without commitment. It's perfect.
Yeah, dude. No one's like hitting you up to get lunch. You're like, just get my comic, man. No.
You don't got to call for a flat tire fix or anything. It's perfect.
Yeah, dude. So a little background. I don't know much about you, so let's get into it. You're from Philly. Did you grow up there? Were you like born and raised there?
No. I was born in Allentown, Lehigh Valley, if you know.
That's like New York, right? Or like outside of New York? Where's that?
That's like an hour away from Philly, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. Eastern Pennsylvania. I grew up like in Texas for a short time, but then I was born in Allentown. I moved to Philly in like late July of 2020. So.
Oh, so you're a new resident.
Just been here ever since.
Oh yeah.
How do you like that city?
Well, it's great as great as it can be in a pandemic. I mean, I
guess you got there right at the worst time. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was saying it's very cheap, and it's visually really nice. I like it a lot.
So you grew up just outside, but in that same kind of like, I don't know, in between East Coast and Midwest area.
Oh yeah.
And then
Allentown's like 2 hours from New York, and New Jersey's really close too.
Did you at a young age, like, were you always drawing and like making art and stuff, or was that something that developed like later on in life?
Yeah. I've used to give my first grade teacher like weekly folded comic, like little zines, every week. She would leave like folded pieces of just computer paper in my folder, and then she would like talk. I didn't really learn a lot in that class. It was first grade, but she would tell us all about her life, like her friends, like boyfriends and stuff. Probably not, good, but I mean, I didn't tell anyone about it. I just gave her the books, so the information stayed.
Damn,
stayed
dude,
pretty close.
That's like a low key little kid player. Like you're like
I'm drawing pictures for my teacher.
Yeah, you're like giving him the zine.
Well, I was probably how old is first grade? Like 5 years old.
I think like 5.
I was just happy to be there,
that teacher's got a book of your artwork. When you blow up, she's gonna be like, "Look at first grade artwork right here."
She didn't burn them; they're still there. She sent me pictures like 6 months ago, and I have them on
That's
my
awesome.
Instagram. You can see them.
That's super cool, dude. That's so funny, and it's cool how like a couple teachers in my life too, like at a young age, were the ones that encourage you and like help mold you kind of and keep you going when maybe the other kids are like, I don't know, drawing's not cool or whatever it is, and
yeah, it's really important.
Yeah,
because
what it sounds like from that story,
stop any kind of growth.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like from that story, you started writing with comics, right? Drawing for your teacher. You'd put a couple little blocks together. Or you were telling stories, or were you just drawing pictures?
Yeah. I was reading a lot of like Captain Underpants and the Junie B books.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know about those? Yeah, Magic Treehouse, all that stuff. First grade. Yeah.
Exactly. First grade books. It's like, but that's where the love of like the art I think comes through, because like Garfield, Heathcliff, even like Sunday comics. Like I at a young age like had a big fascination with like the Sunday comics, like Marvin. Like I couldn't tell you what one Marvin strip is, but it's like just this baby that has some thought bubbles like once in a while. But like as a little kid, for whatever reason, I was like, this is the jam. Like this is interesting to me. I don't know. It was something like a little maybe headier, like required a little more thought than just looking at the pictures.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you're that young and you can understand what's happening, it's like a big deal.
Yeah.
And you just get addicted. That's why like a lot of those kids comics are all series, because kids like to have a whole bunch of books, I guess.
Is it that work that kind of inspired you? Because when I look at Hornrim, we could shout out some Hornrim.
Sure.
We got them all here. Obviously, go pick up Hornrim number 3 if it's. Is it still available, dude? You're selling out left and right.
Yeah, well, it's sold out now, but it's coming back.
Okay.
Very soon, yeah.
Word. Yeah, that'll be the 4th pressing or what?
Second one for
number 3,
but for number 1, it's the 4th time I've gotten it printed. This is the first one.
Very nice.
So there's been different kinds of paper each time. So hopefully it's not a big deal to people, but I don't think anyone's collecting all 4. Like that's.
Well, we got all 3 over here. We're collectors.
Yeah, dude, we're on it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sending those out, man.
Each time I get it printed, like there's not just the same person buying it every time, so no one's gonna.
That's wonderful.
Be able to tell.
Well, I mean, it's super talented work, man. I was thumbing through it earlier. Like we said earlier, I had no idea who you were until Matt said, "Hey, we got this guy Nate on the podcast." So I started doing some research, and finally, when he brought these over, I was thumbing through them earlier. I was reading in the 3rd episode the 3rd issue, excuse me.
Oh yeah.
I was reading through that one, and the stories, man, that you come up with are just as good as the artwork, and the artwork is incredible. So that's definitely saying something. I was reading through it, wanting to know what was going to happen next in the forest with this guy that was asking his girlfriend to marry him. That Bobcat story is great, man.
Thanks. Thank you. That's good to know, because it's easy to just want to draw what you want to happen, and you don't care about the story. So that's nice. Thank you so much.
When you start to lay down something, where do the ideas originate? Is it with the storyline? Like this would be funny if like a couple fish had like adult conversations and we're getting into like situations that are uncommon to fish, or like does it start with just the idea of like the drawing and then you write from there?
Well, with the Gup comics, it's more like I just write down like paragraphs of text, just of like stuff that I'm thinking about, and then I try to like squeeze it into how it would sound as a conversation. and like banter and stuff. And then from there, it just looks like, one letter block of text, one letter block of text, and then I just like thin it out because you don't want every panel to just be words.
Right.
But for the fish ones, yeah, that's writing. But Bobcat was like, I was just drawing a cat in my sketchbook with really thick glasses, and I liked that. And I like really roughly drew out like 15 pages of it, and then I just started drawing and came up with the ending as I went. So just to keep me from not getting bored.
Yeah, so it wasn't like a planned out idea start to finish. It was like kind of see where it goes, or like what you draw while you're doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there was some really specific like points that I wanted to keep that were there from the beginning, but I like to leave a lot open. It's like super fun that way.
It's good. Yeah, it does that without being too minimal. Like there is a good amount of text in your comic books, but it still allows the reader to kind of like mess with their mind and let it see where it goes on some things, especially on some of the ending.
Oh, that's cool.
A couple of the ending points, I felt like, all right, this story can go anywhere when it's continued, which is cool.
And the depth to it, man, has a good feel. I was actually quite surprised to find out that you were such a young man. There's a very mature feel, or like a very like knowledged or experienced vibe in the comics that it seems like it would be difficult for someone of your age to be able to accomplish, but you do it well. And like I said, I was quite surprised to find out of your age, because it seems like there's years of experience in there.
How old are you, dude? I don't know.
18.
Okay, yeah. I knew you were young. I thought you were like in your early 20s, but that's even crazier.
What a trip.
Yeah, turned 19 May 31st.
Hell yeah, dude. Same birthday brothers.
Whoa, holy
dang, look at that.
You're like the only other person I've ever met with my birthday. That's crazy.
Wow.
Yep, dude. Yeah. We're kindred spirits, dude. This is why you came on the podcast.
That's why it worked out.
Perfect. It's meant to be.
It was Jim and I's just connecting, bro.
So I want to ask a random question. Where'd you come up with Hornrim? Obviously the glasses, where'd you come up with, or what drew you to that name to actually like name your comic?
Settle on that, I guess.
Yeah, so I really like one word titles for like magazines and comics and stuff. Wanted to think of like Hornrim as like it's like Mad Magazine, but only one artist the whole time, or like 8 Ball, Dan Klaus, Youngie Fur, those kind of older like Fangraphics anthologies. It's just one person for the whole thing. I keep a lot of sketchbooks, so I ended up drawing the glasses a whole bunch, and just mindlessly writing down words and like just drawing different fonts and stuff just from bored. And Hornrim just looks cool, like it sounds cool because you think of the glasses, but it doesn't have to just be that.
Right. Yeah. It's not a synonym for glasses,
but vague too.
In like the typography and even like graffiti kind of cultures, I know it's like my experience that letters with legs, like M's, R's, H's, stuff like that, lends itself well to like the design, because it kind of kicks it. You can kick it out a little bit, and it comes from angles, and like kind of what you've done with Hornrim. It seems like the 3rd issue kind of got a little redeveloped. As far as the boldness of the outline, but you've stayed pretty true to like the idea of it. Super fucking clean. I like it.
Thanks. Yeah, I didn't think about the letters with legs thing. That's interesting. It's those are very dynamic letters. You could do a lot with them. And I like when fonts stay the same on a comic or magazine, but it's still drawn every time differently, and you'll see like subtle things.
Yeah.
I don't like when it's just copied and pasted.
It never just like a pre-made header that just is stamped on every issue. Yeah, I feel you.
That's one thing I actually...
and then they changed the color, and it's like, you could tell. It's different. It's the same.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of the first things that I was drawn to when I opened up the book was all the lettering and all the fonts that you hand write and hand draw throughout.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got a really clean font style, but the way that you're able to just bold a couple of letters to add so much depth, or add the font is shaky as the person's talking. You can hear that
Yeah.
in just the font that you're drawing, as opposed to somebody who like typed it out isn't going to get that same vibe. You know what I mean? So the fact that you have such that like capable font style in so many things, it tells a story just with the words, even beyond what the words are saying.
Yeah, I think people really do overlook the handwritten lettering for comics, because everything's drawn. You don't just want to put Times New Roman there. It's jarring, and it's lazy.
It looks like a New Yorker cartoon or something. Like it's just like,
yeah, I don't get that. Well, I guess for the New Yorker, it's like their thing at this point. But
right. But you know what I'm saying? The like authenticity, or like the warmth, the hand feeling. There's none there when you just use a typeface. It's really cool seriously that you've been able to brand it and like kind of keep that flow in some of the story headlines with that same type format. Is that based off of anything, or is it just kind of how you like drawing letters? Like where did it come from?
Sketchbooks again. Every like story has its own like title lettering that's really specific to the story. It's cool because if you're flipping through, you could tell something's different, and it's like fun. You could look forward to it. You can get familiar with the title lettering. TV shows do that, cartoons do that, stores.
Right.
So I thought that was really important, and it just came from just drawing different, just testing out different fonts and sketchbooks and stuff like that. I look at a lot of old album artwork, older comics and stuff. You could take a lot from different sources, it'll look like your own.
Again, dude, like years, or like wisdom beyond your years, I feel like, because at first glance I was like, it almost looks like a Jefferson Airplane album, or like the old school Batman logo that kind of had like the distorted Batman letters. And I was like, there's no way that that's what this is based off of. But that's crazy that you say that, like album art and stuff. Like, are you into old rock, or like what kind of music do you listen to?
Yeah, I love older music. I love everything really, but I like old samba music. Walter Wanderley, if you know who that is. Like a lot of 60s. Like it's like a elevator music, but like with taste. I think it's really nice. I like a lot of like modern garage. OC's Ty Segall, King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard.
Yeah, dude.
That's that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, they rule.
How did your mom feel about you drawing naked women in your comic books?
I don't know what she really thinks. I'm sure she'd love to. I'm sure there's probably things that would make her more happy than seeing that. But I mean, it's not new. That's been happening for a long time. So the initial shock is
there was never a sit down conversation like, Nate, we need to sit down and then talk about this last comic book.
Oh, well, I don't know. I think she's probably happier that I'm drawing it than doing something worse, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good point. There's a lot worse than drawing titties in a comic book. Good point.
So
yeah,
funny,
yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know if this is bad, but I did, for like the first two, I put boobs right in the front cover, like on the side there. So
yeah.
Hit it with it.
At this point, she hasn't said much about it, so.
Well, that's good. You got to become your own man early on, man.
Yeah, no, we flipped when the centerfold in issue 3, I think, is the girl pegging the dude. And I was like, I wonder if that was intentional.
Let's be quite honest, I don't really know if my mom knows what that is.
Yeah.
That's for the people that do their research. They'll know what it is.
So also, dude, so you've written, illustrated these comics. You do the layout, you do everything yourself, like it's 100% your product?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, there's no contribution from any other thing than
you
my
just
right
send it
hand
to the printer.
Those 3, yeah.
Dude, I got to ask, and I do not mean to sound like I'm asking a mean question,
Uh-oh.
but how many of these did you have? Like, did you have all of this drawn out and then you released 3 in 5 months, or did you actually create 3 comic books in 5 months? Like layout,
Is it
drawing
5
them out.
months? No, so I didn't have any of this, and I feel like you could tell because if I had them all done at the same time, it would have been like, I feel like they would have looked kind of too much the same. I did number 1 from like April 2020 to October, and then number 2 is October to November, and then, or I'm sorry, October to December really, and then December to March is when 3. I drew 3. So I started number 3 January 9th.
Do you feel like the process has changed from 1 to 3? Like, is there things that you do differently that maybe save you time or like just help your flow?
Totally. For number 1, there's like really no, in my opinion, there's like really no like vision direction in that at all. It's like all over the place, and
but it's a good intro. It's like a great intro to like the stories.
Yeah, sure. I guess so. But well, number 1 would kind of happen on accident. I drew the very first one I drew in number 1 was the Alonzo Sneak strip with the cowboy sneaker guy, and that was just 1 page, 4 panels, and I just drew it. And that the page that's actually printed in there is like a Photoshop collage of the 2 pages I made, and I made it look like it's real. A real page of original art, but it's not. It's actually collaged. But I drew that, and then I printed it out on just computer paper because I like to see it small. And then I got like newsprint from the art art store, and then I put the newsprint in the printer, and I made it the Alonzo Sneak strip even smaller, and then I folded it and then pretended there was more like comics on the other side. I was like, whoa, that's so cool, because it's like different. You realize like how actual pages connect.
Yeah, right.
So
it's putting together physically instead of just this is numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. You kind of see how everything folds together when you make it yourself. I was gonna say, damn it, now I lost it.
You interrupted him, and that's your karma, bro.
I fucked up, dude. No,
it'll come back. It'll come back.
With the first one though, you said it's kind of like a mix match. It was just stuff you were working on out of the sketchbook, and then you kind of decided to roll with it. What was the catalyst to like make number 2 and number 3?
Catalyst was finishing number 1. I really did not think that it would like ever be finished, because I worked on it from. I think I quit making comics like 3 times when I made number 1, and I was doing comics way before this too, so it was like a big deal to quit it. And then, but then I don't know. I came back, and like from like June to August, I didn't really, like June to August, I wasn't really doing anything. And then I just, I don't know. I drew more in my sketchbook, and then I had more things I wanted to do. So I just thought, well, I'll just finish it, and it'll just look bad, and I'll just at least get it out of my system, This will be the worst thing I ever do, so I'll just get it out of the way.
Calling it quits on an art project is one of the hardest things for an artist to do, man. Finally saying, okay, it's done. Especially that first one when you don't know when it's done. You don't give yourself a timeline. You're like, well, I could always do better. Like finalizing it and saying, okay, no more, it's done is one of the hardest decisions to make.
Yeah, and then I was like, I thought I was done so many times, and I'm like, oh man, this has to be an even number of pages because I have to print it. So I was like, oh man, so now I have to do 2 more. What am I gonna do? So,
what was the filler?
There's like 3 ads in this thing.
There you go, dude.
Those ads.
I was gonna ask. It's like you double down though on yourself, because someone that picks this up might not necessarily know who you are, the artist is, and then they see that stuff in the back that you say your name in it in the front and the back. It's very well done in the sense that someone that isn't familiar with you could pick it up and learn who you are through it. Or at least be very familiar with like your name and branding.
Yeah, that's very much conscious, because you pick up like a mini comic, and then you see there's no name, there's no like social media, no email, it's just like it's a message in a bottle, but like I can't find like who are you? I don't know who you are. So
Yeah.
I made that I didn't want you to not be confused on who made this and where you can find out how to get like more.
Hell yeah, dude.
When I made this one, there was no more. That was it. So
how I see your stranger shirt. How did you link
oh,
up?
Yeah.
How'd you link up with those guys or that guy?
Yeah. Well, yeah. One man band is strangers. Eddie does everything.
Yeah, he's a G.
Yeah. I don't know how that works.
I don't understand it either.
We just followed each other on Instagram. We were just like online friends pretty much, and just became closer online friends. And then I just sent him number one back whenever it was like, it used to be like when I first made, this is like the third time I've printed it, so the paper's different, but originally this was like folded cardstock and like the art store newsprint.
Yeah, like newsprint, heavy cover.
Yeah, I was printing them on like my cheap printer that I just had available.
Hell yeah.
And I sent Eddie one and he liked it, and so I sent him number two so he wouldn't forget who I was, I guess.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
Keeps him in his mind, I guess. But yeah, he distributed all three on his last month, or this month.
How many do you do the same number runs each pressing, or is it changed from pressing to pressing on the issue?
I don't really keep track. I probably should, but I usually do like 50 or 50, but for number 3 I did like I think 120, and then I did like 75 for number 1, and then the same for number 2. But it doesn't stay consistent because sometimes I don't think, like the first time I don't get too many because I don't just want to have a whole bunch and with nothing to do with them. But luckily they were able to go.
Yeah, that's dope, dude. I mean,
yeah.
50 copies doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're trying to sell 50 copies of something, it's rough. It's hard. It's like you have a few friends or whatever, people that will snag one off you quick, and then you got to move the rest of those. So, respect.
Yeah. I sent out like a whole bunch of free ones, like when I first, like for number 2 and 3, or number 1 and 2.
That's the move, dude.
I sent a whole because that's the only way. Like nobody's just gonna spend $5. Like you can't expect. Even still, I don't think I can expect. I still send out a lot of free comics to people.
I think that's the thing. It's like not repetition, but just familiarity goes a long way. If you send stuff out to people that you respect or that are doing things that you like,
oh yeah,
that's a huge part of the community and a huge part of like why people like yourself are able to move copies like this. Like very commendable, dude. Like you're moving some work.
Oh, thanks.
I have not one last question, but I have one throwback question.
Yeah.
So you won a Scholastic Arts and Writing National Gold Key for a piece of work a year and a half or so ago in like late 2019. Can you tell us like a little bit about what that piece was about and like how that whole experience was?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's a drawing of a vintage cow like pulley toy with with wheels, and I drew like buildings and stuff around it. And it's really big, 18 by 24 inches, and I was just drawing it in my art class, but it was just for me. And my art teacher was paying for people to submit to Scholastic Art and Writing Awards, which is just like a student award thing where you can just send your art in. But so she paid I think it's like $5, which is a lot for someone who's like 17. So at least for me, I didn't want to spend that. So she spent it, and very thankfully because it won a national, there was a bunch of other people too, but I got to go to Carnegie Hall, and they did like a video presentation of all the artists and stuff. I will say this though, I don't think, it's nice that people get to win, but like people get really, really sad when they don't win. Like I was seeing like people crying and stuff whenever the results came in, and I felt bad because like I didn't even want to do it. Like she paid for me, and I was really thankful.
Dude, that's too true though, and you know it shouldn't be that way, but you can't tell someone how to feel. It sucks that people take it so hard when they don't win. You know.
Yeah, and you can't take any of that seriously because this it's a student. Like there's no like money involved or anything, so it's all just for fun.
It is, but like that's a really cool recognition to be a nationally recognized artist, to be able to show your work in Carnegie Hall, even if it's just with all the other winners.
Oh yeah,
I mean
it's awesome. A really good accolade. Accolade, dude. My word didn't work.
Acclimate, the new Propel.
Yeah,
it's like new mineral water.
Hey, and I just want to say about those people that get upset and are crying when they lose. You're going to be seeing a lot of that as a very talented young artist as you get older. There's going to be a lot of people around you that aren't as successful as you and aren't doing as well as you, and you can't take that personally, and you can't allow that to affect your game at all, because the truth of the matter is there are going to be people who aren't making it, but you're trying for you, and as long as you bring the people up around you as you're going and you're doing your best, you can't worry about those other people. You just got to keep doing your best and know that you're on a wave right now, and I don't want to say the lucky ones because you're talented as hell and it shows that you've put in the work, but you're one of the ones that gets to ride the wave. So while you're up there, just enjoy it and don't worry about those people crying, man.
Yeah, that was in like high school, so it was. I think that the stakes were really high for them, and it was sad, but like I think they're fine now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So are you going to school in Philly then? Is that why you moved there? Or?
No. Well, so I was gonna go to Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts, PAFA, and I was ready to sign the loan paper thing online, and I was just like looking at the numbers, and I had my calculator app out on my phone. I was doing so and so times 4 years, and I was like, oh man, that's a lot of money. And like I had saved up so much for like college and stuff, and I was working, and I just had like all this like miscellaneous money that I was been saving for so long that was for college. And I was like, man, like in 4 years I'm gonna be like in the exact same spot I'm in now, but I will have debt in hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I was thinking like maybe not do that. And plus I didn't want to go to COVID art school. It sounds like real bleak.
Dude, I've heard some horror stories of people in art classes in this last year that you're showing and trying to critique people's work via this. Like, this doesn't do your work justice. You know what I mean? Like,
well, thanks.
Doing this like isn't gonna show anyone how amazing this stuff is. So I feel bad for everyone that's in art school right now.
Yeah, like scanning original artwork for your art class, it's like you get no sense of scale or
and
texture.
And unless you can afford more than an all-in-one printer scanner, you can't scan anything over,
a page,
10 or 8.5 by 11, like for the most part.
Yeah, exactly.
So
you're stuck with your phone trying to make sure that it's not like a slanted picture. You got to make sure it's like, you got to hold it to where you can't see it to make it like a perfect square.
No glare. Yeah, that would be it'd be a hassle for sure, dude. Actually, speaking of that, you work big, right? So everything like in these comic strips, a lot of them you work out on bigger format paper, right? You're not just doing them small scale, right?
Yeah, the original art is like 8.5 by like this is working to actual size. The ones in number 3. That's like probably a little.
That's kind of where the originals live, right in that format.
Yeah. Just because like I work flat on like a flat like drawing table, so I find like if I'm doing a really big drawing, I can't put my arm, like I can't see it perfectly if my arm's like all the way up. Like I'd have to like fold the paper if I really want to be like as direct as I'd want to be. So I pretty much just stay pretty small. Although these here are a lot smaller than the original art. Like these here are like 9 by 12 inches.
Okay.
So that's manageable. It's like a bit bigger than computer paper size.
Right.
But yeah, I don't work like the standard 11 by 17 like Marvel comics.
What when you're doing the coloring for the covers and the few color insert pages, do you do that digitally, or is that hand coloring?
So for this one, for number 2, well, first of all, every color cover is digitally done. I just do it on Photoshop. But for number 2 specifically, I colored it on Photoshop, and then I printed it out, and I scanned it in at like 300 dpi, and then I just used the scanned piece of paper as the cover, because I wanted it to have like if you look closely, you'll see that there's it's you can see like the texture of the paper, like everything is like I don't know how to say it, but the ink is soaked in.
It sits differently than like a digital print.
Yeah, it doesn't just look like it's from Photoshop. Because sometimes when you do from Photoshop to the actual printed thing, it just kind of looks like, I don't know, it looks too clean.
Yeah, it takes away a little bit of the lines that I personally like, the ones that aren't perfect, the ones that the little mistakes that are there, but kind of gives it some character.
Yeah, you could see like it's like a compression, I guess, if you want to talk like music terminology. But yeah,
it's like it makes it sound cleaner, but that's not necessarily a good thing.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
I guess you can only like visualize how that looks. It's really hard to explain it. But
yeah,
everything's colored digitally.
You'll have to buy some copies. And
true, yeah.
Where are all these available? Right, you got the website that they can pick these up at.
Etsy.com/shop/cartoons2. Go word go.
And then Strangers picks up copies if here and there, right? They've been moving some for you.
Yeah. Eddie puts copies in his distro. Well, as of this month, I don't know if he wants more next time, but yeah. And then Wig Shop Web Shop, if you know that, they sometimes have copies. Partners and Son in Philly, really great comic store, small press comic store. They always have copies. Yeah.
Rad.
But
we'll have to get you in Ratnest, man.
Instagram, you'll know.
Yeah, man.
And then
you're always welcome.
10 years when Instagram's gone,
I'll steal some copies from you. Don't worry. Anytime you want to move some, I'll take some off your hands.
Go ahead and say your Instagram again.
Oh yeah, Nate Garcia's Cartoons is my Instagram.
Awesome, yeah.
And it's in all the books too. And if you just go on there, you'll know everything that happens.
And when can we expect Hornrim 4 coming out?
I don't know. We'll probably fall. I don't know. I haven't worked on anything for it yet. I'm working on Alonzo Sneak is the cowboy that has been in number 1 and 3, and so I'm doing a book for Eddie of just him. So that's like the ad for it in the back.
Awesome.
It's the back of the
the back.
That'll be under like his Strangers Presents publishing.
Hell yeah, dude.
Imprint thing, yeah.
That's rad.
I should have Eddie on. He's great, yeah.
He's got good people he's working with and good work.
Dude, I swear every artist that we have on here shouts out Strangers. We got to reach out to this guy.
Yeah, it's great. It's cool because you see like familiar covers in his distro and and in the books, like you see repeating faces. So it's like you get to know all these different
You get a feel for the styles of everyone that he's working with and stuff. That's really rad, man. Well, shoot, we're gonna wrap it up, but do you want to shout out anything else before we go? Is there anything we missed that you want to hit on?
Make sure you let everyone know where they can buy your artwork or check out your stuff and anything you want to rep, man.
Sure, yeah, I do you can go just on my Instagram, Nate Garcia's Cartoons. My Etsy shop is in the bio. Feel how we're just talking about myself, so I'll shout out one more thing. If you want me to draw your pet, I do pet portraits. That's how I pay a lot of rent.
Awesome.
But I will shout out some comics I love from other people, because I do feel weird just having it be about me, even though whatever. But yeah, Rodeo Evan Salazar, if you guys know that one and two, he has rodeo extras like fanzine he's doing now.
Yep.
Okay.
On his Patreon, it's really good. Josh Pettinger Goiter, great. Jasper Jubenville, Dynamite Diva.
Yep. Just pick that
I'm
up.
sure. Oh yeah.
Yeah, dope.
Yeah, it's great. You know, strangers obviously. Let's see. Whatever.
Can't forget anyone.
All right, dude. Don't stress about it. You've been great, man.
Whatever.
Thank you so much for giving us the time and bullshitting with us.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Really looking forward to see what you got going on in the future and turning some people onto your work. So
yeah, really, really great work, man. And thanks for being so open with us and sharing your creative process.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks so much for having me on. This is fun.
hell yeah, dude.
Absolutely.
We'll do it again. When we get a couple more projects under our belt, we'll touch base again.
Cool. I'd love to. Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Awesome.
Great.
Right on, man.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
Sweet.
I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for being here,
you.
Nate. Nice meeting you, brother.
Bye. Yeah.
Take us out, Rat.
This has been the Ratnest podcast. You can catch us every week with new episodes with artists, musicians, and other creatives on YouTube for the videos and all major streaming platforms. And this has been Jim.
I'm Jim.